Hello and welcome to another tutorial on basic mixing. Today we're going to have a look at how to get effects into your project and how to create FX channels. So I have my multi-track project open, and to use effects on instruments we're going to go to the track window, and in the upper right corner we have this little button here, and that brings up the audio channel settings. On the left side of this window we can see all the inserts we have. These are basically the slots for the effects that we can use. So now I can click it and bring up the effect bar. These are all the effects I have installed in Cubase at the moment. Some of them are built in, some of them I had to install myself. And if you want to load up an effect, you just select the category and then select the effect. This is one of the built-in equalizers that comes with Cubase, and you can see right here the control panel that lets us control the effect and change all the settings to our liking. So this equalizer only affects the audio signal of this one track right now, the trumpet one. Aside from the equalizer we have lots of different effects, of course. Here you can see chorus, flanger, phaser, all these different effects. There's even distortion, delay, reverb, and it depends on the music you're mixing which effects you want to use. We can also access the audio channel settings via our mixing panel. Right here we see the same button that we have in our track window, and that brings up the same window that we use for putting effects on the track. The next thing I want to show you is that we also can put one effect on many different tracks at once. Last time we discussed groups, and now we have a drum group right here. Every element of the drum kit is routed to this group, and we can select one effect that affects all the different elements in the drum kit. That can be very handy if we want to use reverb, for example, and we don't want the reverb to only be on the snare drum or the overheads. We can put the effect on the group channel, and we have the effect evenly distributed to all the tracks that are routed to this channel. For a quick demonstration, I'm going to put a reverb on the trumpet. There are different methods of putting effects on tracks, and we're going to have a closer look. But first I'm going to play the dry trumpet signal, only one track, and then I'm going to add reverb. Okay, that was the dry trumpet, and now we're going to open the audio channel settings and going to use the first insert to put an effect, and the effect is the reverb that we're going to choose right here. So there's a clear difference between the signal with reverb and without reverb. This was on one track. The trumpet has been recorded on two tracks because we were using a room mic and a close-up mic. I've routed them to this channel and I'm going to balance them real quick. So now that we have balanced the trumpet that is already in our group, we're going to right click on the group, go to add tracks, and then add FX channel track. That brings up this interface right here, and we can add our effect to the track directly. There is no audio signal on there, no MIDI signal, nothing. Only the effect for now. You can see this is the purple track down here, FX channels. And we only have a reverb on there. We're going to name that reverb test. Now we have to route a signal to the FX channel track where the reverb is on. We're going to do this by bringing up the audio channel settings again, and this time I'm going to choose the trumpet, and this has both trumpet tracks in, and right here you can see the sends we have available. These work in the same way that inserts work, but we can split the signal and send it to an FX track. Right here we have the reverb. I'm going to turn that on and then adjust the input of the signal of the group track. This basically allows us to split signals. That means that one signal, and that is the signal of the group track, goes right to the stereo output, and the other one goes into the FX track. Now we are able to control the volume of the reverb by just pulling a fader on the mixing console. And you can basically route signals from wherever you want to certain FX tracks. Doesn't matter. One thing to note though is that we should turn up the mix, the dry-wet signal mix of the effect all the way up to wet. So there's only a wet signal played back and not a dry signal. Otherwise you get the original signal 2 times, which will affect the volume and not actually the reverb that you can hear. Now that I've done that, I can demonstrate how this works. We can now control basically the dry-wet of the signal using the volume fader. So this is how you access effects in Cubase and also create FX channel tracks. And especially those are useful if you want multiple tracks in your project to be influenced by one effect equally. There are many more things you can do with FX tracks, and I would just advise you to experiment with them a little and find out what you can do with them in your own project.